Hey up guys, greetings from my parents' house in Leeds. Happy bank holiday and Easter weekend to you all. Today I'm going to be talking about Game of Thrones Season 8, Episode 2, A Night of the Seven Kingdoms. Again, this is another episode of setup, much like Winterfell was. I mean, it didn't feel like a lot happened. It was a fairly uneventful episode, but there was a lot of, emotional character growth and development, and this is all part of the horrible, cruel way that they make us care about these characters by getting us emotionally invested in them again. And then in the very next episode, we're going to watch like half of them die. It's going to be like Infinity War levels of death, most likely. So let's talk about the good and the bad in this episode. I did enjoy Jaime having to stand in front of Dany and Sansa and answer for his crimes, and how blasé Bran was about the whole push out the window thing. He was actually quite diplomatic about it. Go Bran, he understands that, Jaime was doing what he needed to do in order to protect his family. That was to be expected. I didn't think Bran was actually going to care that, Jaime pushed him out the window all those years ago. Like, again, bigger picture. The interaction between Jaime and Tyrion I thought was great. It was so nice to see the Lannister brothers, sparring off each other again, discussing the future, discussing the house, like Jaime openly talking about the fact that, he and Cersei slept together and he was a drunk, whoremongering imp back when they were first in Winterfell. So, yeah, it's good to see how far they've come. And it looks like they're foreshadowing that the Valancourt prophecy is going to come into play, because Tyrion did say, oh, maybe we could both go to King's Landing and destroy our sister. So that could be what they're hinting at, that they are going to survive at Winterfell and get to King's Landing and play a part in Cersei's demise. I really want to see a Lannister reunion, so I hope we get to see all three of them on screen together again. And something amazing happened in this episode. That was, I actually cared for Bran. Like, I don't like Bran anymore, but there were little glimmers of his past self in there today, which was really nice. And even though he's still just a monotonous robot spouting out exposition, I still feel that it was handled well in this episode. And it was a scene between Tyrion and Bran where Tyrion asked Bran to tell him his story, what happened to him. And that was a very nice reminder where Tyrion's come from, because he said in the first episode of Jon Snow that his mind is his valuable asset, and learning the history, the stories, gives him knowledge and gives him power, which is very true. And him learning Bran's story, I think, will be a pivotal part in the next few episodes as well. Bran, definitely big key parts now. We had the reveal as well of what the Night King wants. And we finally been given it. And it's just as I feared. It was something very simple, and that was that the Night King is the bringer of death. He wants to bring an eternal winter, and there's no real, substance behind it, sadly. It's just what are his motives for wanting to, eliminate, the entire human population of Westeros, other than just, I'm the bringer of death. But yeah, that was one of my negatives of this episode, is that it doesn't delve too deep into, the mythos and the motives behind the Night King. Bringing an endless night is a bit simple. It's an interesting angle, but give me some reasons why. We're just supposed to accept it at face value that, oh, the Night King represents death and all he wants is to eradicate, human life in Westeros. Give me more. I want to know the reason behind it. Infinity War did it. Thanos told us why he wanted to eradicate half of human life. Why is the Night King so invested in it? Tell me. My other negative of this episode would have to be the handling of Arya, because she felt more like herself in the previous episode when we got to see her reunite with Jon and show some human connection. But whenever she goes into this weird faceless man assassin mode, she just becomes all cold and monotonous, not too dissimilar to Bran, which just annoys me. And it just drains all the life and personality out of them. And there's that bit where she was throwing dragon glass daggers at the wall, to show Gendry her assassin skills. And she was saying, I met the many-faced god. I look forward to seeing him again. It was just, oh, it was so cringy. Just no, Arya, just talk like a human being. Yeah, I didn't like it. Now about the whole Arya losing her virginity thing to Gendry. I mean, even from the first scene where you first see Gendry and it's all weirdly sexy with the blacksmith steam coming off the dragon glass weapons, and he's got a forehead sweat and it's just dirty, and you can see the lingering eyes across the courtyard between Arya and Gendry. It's just yep, something's gonna happen. Last night on Earth. It was a big moment. It was a big payoff for Game of Thrones. It just shows you the transition of Maisie Williams from when she was this wide-eyed, sweet, young tomboy girl in season 1 to where she is now. I mean, her character has had a fair share of cringy moments, but it's the moments where she's most human where we fall in love with Arya, because, you know, that's the Arya we grew up with, and now she's a lady. Oh, my lady. I actually recorded on my iPad a reaction vid as I was watching this episode, but there was just nothing to show you of worth. Like, there was no big what the fuck moments. I think the loudest reaction I had watching this episode was the moment where Bran said, "The things we do for love," when Jaime was being interviewed. I was like, ah, God, that was a classic throwback to episode 1. But yeah, the other laugh out loud moments, I'd say, were watching Tormund. Tormund was the MVP of this episode. The bit where Jon Snow's like walking up to Ed and he just gets poosh, side tackled by Tormund. It's like, oh, thank you. That made me laugh. It's just like, it just shows you how far these characters have come, especially when you see like the Brotherhood without banners and the crows and the wildlings, like all hugging and so happy to see each other. It shows you like the evolution of Westeros and the characters, and it was a lovely bit of payoff, that. And yeah, Tormund's scene about Giant Spade, where I got the nickname from, that was brilliant. I was hanging on his every word, and it was just such an enveloping story, and it made me love him even more as well, because they haven't delved too deep into his backstory, and it was so nice that he finally got some. And yeah, it was in that scene with the fireplace, and I was just like, Brienne, Tormund, exchanging glances, loved it. And then there was like Jaime and Tyrion, and who else we had? Pod, and someone else. Oh, it was Davos. It was Davos there as well, the Onion Man. But it was a lovely mix of characters coming together from all corners of, you know, Westeros, from different classes, different backgrounds, and it was just great to see them all interacting and coming together, because this could be their last night on Earth, and there were some nice moments in there, just drinking wine and swapping stories, and the moment where Jaime knighted Brienne, that was lovely as well, wasn't it? Oh, that was just so sweet, and she's come a long way. But the whole fact that they're making us care about these characters, giving us their backstory, giving these moments of payoff, makes me worry about their survival in the next episode, because this is how they get you. They make you care, they make you feel for these characters, and then the very next episode, they end up decapitated or stabbed or killed or butchered, and it makes the pain that much worse, because you've just remembered why you love them so much. So I am nervous for Brienne, I'm nervous for Tormund, I'm nervous for Pod. I think a bunch of them are going to die. Even Davos, I think, has a good chance of dying here, because yeah, if they want us to feel the weight of the situation and the inevitable wave of death that's coming, a lot of lovable characters have to die in order for us to make it feel like it's real. So yeah, I am nervous that a lot of those characters are going to kick the bucket in the next episode. And the other big important development was, in fact, it was probably the most important development of the episode, and that was when Jon told Dany that Lyanna Stark and Rhaegar Targaryen are his true parents, and he is Aegon Targaryen, who is Dany's nephew. And because he is the last living male Targaryen, he has a better claim to the throne than Dany does. And we did see in her eyes and the way she held herself that she looked threatened. And that is big. It's a big moment, because it looks like she really does want the power. She wants the throne, and Jon now does have a claim to it. Maybe they can come to a compromise and they can maybe rule together, because they do love each other. There was another interaction as well between Dany and Sansa, where it looked like they were finally bonding. They're getting to that point where they look like they're about to braid each other's hair and swap life stories. And then Sansa brought the fact, like, we don't have a queen, we rule in the north. And yeah, then it got awkward. It got really icy there. There's that whole power dynamic, because you can tell Dany really wants to be the one in control, and Sansa does have a lot at stake here, especially being the Lady of Winterfell. Just trying to think what else is there to discuss. There was Missandei and Grey Worm experiencing racism in the north. Hashtag Brexit, am I right? Oh yeah, I got all broody as well when Davos was serving soup to that, Shireen 2.0 girl. Oh, and a lovely little northern accent. God, my heart melted, my ovaries exploded. It was adorable. Please don't kill this little girl like they did Shireen. Just please, 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 please. And I was so happy to see Ghost as well. I mean, he didn't do anything. He was literally just off to the side as the three crows were chatting on top of the wall. Finally, he's been absent for like a season and a half. And Lady Mormont just keeps growing up the list of my favorite characters, because she just doesn't want to sit in the crypts like some lady that needs protecting. She's like, no, I will be on the battlefield with our soldiers, fighting the dead. I was just like, yes, please give me some Lady Mormont white action, because I want to see her kick some ass. I cannot wait to see how she handles herself in battle. That's the thing with this episode, like, it wasn't a massive episode in terms of payoff. It was just a lot of little things moving at once, and they all having like their own little sense of payoff, like the interaction between Beric and Arya and the Hound chit-chatting on top of the castle, and then there was the moment where Samwell gave Jorah Heartsbane, the sword from House Tarly, which I thought was a nice moment as well. And there was literally not a single death in this episode. If you discount the whole Kid Umber who got killed at the end of episode 1, there hasn't really been any major character deaths for 2 episodes of Game of Thrones, which is like a record for them. So you just know that, there's going to be a lot of blood spilt in the next episode. So yeah, prepare yourself, guys. Get your tissues, get your blankets, because it's going to be a difficult one to watch, episode 3. But there you go, guys. That is my thoughts and opinions, review, discussion of Game of Thrones Season 8, Episode 2, A Night of the Seven Kingdoms. But what did you guys think? Did you like this episode? Did you not? Where do you think the next episode is going? I still think we're going to get a Dany pregnancy reveal. I thought it was going to be this episode, but it didn't come. Maybe next episode, maybe the one after. I still think it's going to happen. What do you guys think? Whatever you think, be sure to let me know in the comment section down below. If you guys do like my content, please don't forget to click subscribe. And if you guys want to follow me on Twitter or Instagram, you can find all that information in the video description down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. For more things related to movies, TV, and popcorn culture, I'm Luke Carefield, and I'll see you next time. Tormund, hug.